Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Plymouth County Treasurer Tom O'Brien here in the lovely town of Whitman. We're here for a Plymouth County Cares Program check presentation through county to the town of Whitman. We're thrilled to be here. We have some distinguished guests that we want to thank for their efforts in participating and supporting this program to make sure we can get much needed financial relief directly to the town of Whitman. I'm thrilled that we have a whole host of our partners. I'm going to begin by introducing Commissioner Hanley, our Plymouth County Commissioner, to welcome everybody, talk a little bit about the program. Our Congressman Lynch is here as well. We have our state delegation represented. So we have a whole host of people that will be talking about this program. What we do know is that we still are in the middle of this pandemic. We know the town of Whitman and the other communities in Plymouth County need these financial resources to address the pandemic. We congratulate the town of Whitman for their submission, their hard work. I know the selectmen know they have a great team here in processing the documents to receive these resources. So this is a great day in the town of Whitman. Without further ado, Commissioner Hanley.
Thank you, Treasurer O'Brien. And on behalf of Dan Pilato, our chairman, and Sandra Wright, who couldn't be with us, unfortunately, she's in the hospital. We'll keep her in our thoughts and our prayers. It's a pleasure for me to be here as well. As you know, the county took on this obligation back in April, and it wasn't an easy decision to do. However, we felt as if we had an educated workforce in Tom O'Brien being the only certified county treasurer in the state. We had administered funds under the ARA funds back in 2008. So we know our communities. We know them by their first names. We know them from a personal point of view because that's how it is. And quite frankly, the governor has done a fantastic job at handling the pandemic. And we felt as if we could contribute and take that load off of his desk, because every time they change the guidance on the federal end, it means more of a commitment of labor. So we're more than happy to help out. I think most of our communities are very happy with the results because of the turnaround time. And again, it wouldn't be without the help of our county treasurer. Having said that, along the way, it wasn't an easy decision. And our state representative and our state senator, Senator Brady Bradley, and Allison Sullivan, our representative, were with us in the county when we went and applied for these funds. And when you have the support of your delegation, it makes life very easy to transact and administer. But of course, none of it would have been possible without the efforts of Congressman Lynch. On the front lines, down in Washington, fighting for us, has been fighting for the HEROES Act for about 4 months now. Hopefully that money will come forward and we'll be able to be a part of that. But the county has definitely served a purpose, and we look forward to serving you further. This is your first check, and we hope to be back with many more. And if it wasn't for your attention to the details, the turnaround time would have been a lot longer. So to your staff and to everyone involved, especially the selectmen. We know Dan knows how to spend it, but you need to collect it. So with that, thank you very much, and we congratulate the town for a successful application.
Thank you, Commissioner Hanley. As you know, we're just absolutely thrilled to have Congressman Lynch here. This is not his first check presentation from the Plymouth Cares Program. He's made every one, and we really appreciate that. What's exciting for us is we know how hard he works for us up on Capitol Hill, in there fighting every day. And when the pandemic hit and Congress was discussing and debating the CARES Act, he immediately stood up and said, this is what our communities here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts need. This is what the communities in my district need. This has to happen. And was one of the lead advocates to make sure that it got passed, it got signed into law. And then he's been so supportive because he understands that we can deliver these checks directly to the towns. I'm excited because they work so hard, and Congressman Lynch and I served together on Beacon Hill for a number of years. I know how hard this man works on our behalf every day. And they don't often get to see the direct results of their efforts. They spend time up there fighting on our behalf. But when they get to actually come and see a check being presented to the town, providing valuable resources to cover the cost of masks, other PPE purchases, you've had some other construction costs that needed to be covered as a result of COVID. It's a great opportunity for them. I'm thrilled that one of my friends and heroes is here, Congressman Stephen Lynch.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Good to be with everyone here in Whitman. What a beautiful day. I do want to say that this is a real partnership. So in addition to Senator Brady and Representative Sullivan, also our county partners, Greg Hanley, and of course our great treasurer, Tom O'Brien, and also at the local level, our Board of Selectmen. So we've all been working together on this. Is the way government should work: Republican and Democrat, local, town, county, and federal government, state, all together working on behalf of the people that we represent. So the CARES Act contribution today is a little over $32,000, but what we try to do at the federal level in the CARES Act and again in the HEROES Act is actually to figure out town by town all across the country what the revenue would have been for those towns, cities, counties, and tribal governments and states to try to replace that. That's what's in the HEROES Act. So there's right now in the HEROES Act that we passed, as Tom mentioned about 4 months ago, is $436 billion for cities, towns, and states across America and tribal governments to replace the revenue that they would have received had not the pandemic occurred. So that's the idea behind this. We've also extended the unemployment benefits with the $600 additional to try to replace actual wages, and the stimulus payments of $1,200 per taxpayer plus $500 per dependent. So we've also put $75 billion to actually attack the coronavirus and do tracking, tracing, and treatment, as well as funding the research on the various vaccine projects. So we're trying to do what America needs. We're having some difficulty negotiations with the House and Senate, but we have had some progress in recent days, and we're hopeful that we can get to an agreement very, very soon. So I'm just grateful for my partners here. I do want to say that, you know, Plymouth County, especially the Plymouth County Treasurer's Office, is doing this differently. And the county commissioners are doing this differently than any other county in my district. So I represent Norfolk and Suffolk as well as Plymouth. And I have to say, I really commend the job that they're doing. It's a much closer relationship between the Plymouth County office and the county commissioners with the local towns. And I think those relationships are very important, especially in times like this when we're relying on federal funds to pay for our teachers and for our first responders, our police, our fire, and essential services in our local towns. So I want to commend Tom O'Brien for the great job he's done here, and very proud to be working with our Whitman delegation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Congressman. Thank you. We really appreciate that. As the Congressman mentioned, it is a team effort. We've been thrilled that our state delegation has been so supportive of our efforts. I know that Senator Brady couldn't be here today. He's made a number of these presentations. He had another meeting, another commitment. He sent a team member along, and we appreciate that to document and record this event, and couldn't happen without him. And then, of course, Representative Allison Sullivan is here. We're thrilled that she could be here. This is not her first presentation either. She's been to a few others in her district, and we appreciate her partnership and her support. She knows that local government is the best government. She knows that these people can pick up the phone and give us a call because they give her a call. So I'm going to, with the permission of our cable host, move the mic over to the representative so she could say a few words, and then I'll move it back if that's okay. So Representative Sullivan?
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Sorry, just had surgery on Monday, so still on crutches. I just want to thank the county government and Congressman Lynch and of course, our great selectmen here in the town of Whitman for hosting this today, and also the administration here in Whitman. Couldn't do it without them. You know, we talk about the money and how Plymouth County is a little bit different than other counties in Massachusetts and keeping the funds here. And if we didn't do it, these small towns like Whitman wouldn't be seeing funds the way we are if the state was to handle the CARES Act money. So I appreciate the county and the county government on stepping up and fighting for those funds to remain here in Plymouth County. It's very important, especially in a time where so many people and so many families are struggling to survive. I know the work that you guys are doing here in Whitman is great, tirelessly working throughout this whole entire pandemic. And we appreciate what you guys do. And Congressman Lynch, it's always a great pleasure to see you. I've seen you on several of these occasions, and it's a good feeling to know that even though you go to Washington, you always come back home. So thank you for that, and thank you to the commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative. So at this point, before I actually turn the check over to the town, I know the town may want to say something, and maybe one of the members of the Board of Selectmen. Two quick things I want to say. One, I want to thank the former town administrator who recently retired, Frank Lynham. I've had the pleasure of working with him over the last 15 to 20 years, and he's done a great job. I know that he will be sorely missed in the town, but we wish him well in his retirement. Everybody deserves that opportunity. And then, of course, Selectman Dan Salvucci, who has been a member of the Plymouth County Advisory Board and has been working with us closely on our budget over the last number of years. He was on the advisory board before I even became the county treasurer. So he's got the longest history, I think, of everyone here with the county, and is a valued partner. We wouldn't be here today if he hadn't recognized a long time ago the value of the county and what we could do, and then bring that back to the town of Whitman. So I know this has to be rewarding to him particularly. I don't know if he's the selectman or if they're both going to say some words, but we really appreciate the selectman's support.
Thank you. For anybody that doesn't know who I am, I'm Dan Salvucci. I'm Vice Chair of the Board of Selectmen, and I'm here with Justin Evans, a member of our Board of Selectmen. Right, I've been on the Plymouth County Advisory Board for 20 years, and I have to say, when the county decided to take over the responsibility of reimbursing the towns in this COVID-19 issues, and and what it's costing them, there's a bit of a pushback. But I believe that they would do right by the towns in their district, and which they have. So I want to thank Tom. I mean, you've done a great job, and the commissioners, they've stood by what they said they were going to do, and they'll reimburse our towns. We have our interim town administrator and our previous town administrator, Frank Lynham, and our Mary Beth Carter, our town treasurer. They all put it together to get the budget monies out there as far as helping the towns and what we need, and our schools, and whatever we needed to keep our people safe. And then, of course, they did the paperwork and sent the paperwork to the commissioner's office, and we've been reimbursed. We'll be reimbursed a lot at a time. Hopefully this is the first of many checks that will come our way, because it's costing us. But I want to thank the county for doing what they do, and my faith was in them from the very beginning when they decided that they would take over the responsibility of reimbursing their towns and their county. And I think they've done a great job. So thank you very much. So thank you, everybody. Justin, do you want to
You sure? Yeah. And Lisa, did you want to say anything? So I really appreciate that, Dan, and those comments. I'm glad you mentioned your team. I had a chance to mention Frank, but they have an interim town manager here in Lisa Green. She's done a fantastic job. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention my dear friend, your treasurer here in Whitman, Mary Beth Carter. I can tell you, oftentimes those of us that are at the county level come to Mary Beth to see how everything's done properly. She's a great ally and a resource for all of us. Some of you may or may not know she serves with me on the Plymouth County Retirement Association board, and we appreciate that. She's helped us grow that investment, and we really appreciate the efforts of the team. So that just tells the selectmen what a great team you have in Whitman. You know it, but we like to reemphasize it when possible. At this point, I'm going to ask the Selectman Salvucci to come forward, and I don't know if we can squeeze in here, or maybe I step back, and we can do it. Now we're going to take two pictures, and you'll see why both of them are important. Is everybody in the picture? I just want to make sure we're not squeezing anybody out. Chang should step right up, and you'll be right in the middle. That should be perfect. And when everybody has a picture, just give me a thumbs up. And in a moment, you're going to get the second picture. And this is the important one. It's not me not holding the check, and it's just with the town of Whitman.
Should I give it to our town
That's
treasurer?
up to you, Mr. Selectman. I would recommend that you do, but at this point, the check is yours. And I have documented proof that the county no longer has possession. So we're presenting a little more than $32,000 to Whitman. Selectman Salvucci, you will be happy to know this is not the last check. Your team has already submitted another submission to the county that's in process. We know another one is coming after that because your team has already asked me some questions and asked when they would get the next check. So we're working on that, and we will be back. Thank you to everyone for coming. Thank you again for covering the event, and thank you for our partners at the federal, at the state, and at the local level. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Second time this month you've been around.
Yeah. that's it. Everybody can commence and.
Recently, the town of Whitman received, as you have just seen, a check from the CARES Act that was donated by, well, donated might not be, it was earmarked for Whitman from the county commissioners. And we're going to talk a little bit with Whitman Selectman Dan Salvucci about what the money is for and where it's going and what else may be happening down the line on that. So Dan, now that we've got the check, I understand there's a good chunk of it is already going to be reimbursed for money that has been spent.
Yes, Paul. We received a check from Plymouth County for a little over $32,000, I believe. And that was reimbursement for the costs that the town's already incurred as far as the masks, the hand sanitizers, the cleaning of the buildings that we're doing with the fire station and the police station. That's very active. As you know, during the COVID-19 issues, our town hall is basically closed. It has been closed, but now you can go in, at least be met outside to deal with business on an appointment-only basis. No one's allowed in there except for elections, which we allowed this past Tuesday. But that being said, the library's closed, the senior center is closed, but the DPW, the office is closed, but the rest of it's still operating. So what we have is the money is being used to clean these areas that are still being open to employees and not to the public, because we have to keep our employees safe. And that $32,000 reimbursement is monies that was sent. We had to send our receipts to Plymouth County. They went over them to make sure that they were part of the CARES Act, that would fall into that category, and we got our first check. Now, what they're saying is, the sooner you get the documentation to Plymouth County, the sooner we'll be reimbursed. And I think Whitman may be entitled to maybe a little over $1 million in reimbursement, depending on what we're doing and what we need to get. The chief has come up with the fire chief, Chief Greno, has come up with. You can tell how old I am, how long I've been on the department. Chief Greno put in a list of items that he'd like to see purchased, and some of those items we've already gotten. One issue that he had is on all the ambulance runs we've been making. And if you live in Whitman, you will hear them night and day, 24/7. Yeah. They've had to clean the ambulances, all of them. So we decided, why don't we have one ambulance that's COVID related as far as those calls? So we only have to clean that ambulance and not put everybody else in the fire department at risk going into an ambulance that might have been on a call but was not clean. So we did that, and we've purchased that, and we've been reimbursed for that ambulance. But it's strictly for COVID-19 cases, related cases.
And that does make a lot of sense, because you can really tie up an ambulance it must take hours to clean those ambulances up, because they've got to clean all the little bits and things that are inside them too, right?
Bumper to bumper. You have to. You keep our firefighters safe. But anyways, so that was done. There's a number of things that we've purchased, like IT, Josh needed to get some things so that we could operate the town hall and still get some of the functions done, even though we're not open. All right, the town still has to run. So he brought in some programs that we were able to run the town as far as items needed to get done. Then we have like our Todd, our maintenance man and custodial that are running from building to building on a daily basis, cleaning it, right? Even though some of the buildings are not open, the employees are still in there. So he has one of those misters that he has to go in and like the library, go through the entire library, because the employees are still there. Senior center, the same thing. We need to keep our employees safe. Town hall, he has to go through it. One of the things we're going to do, because of the fact that we had our elections and town hall was open all day yesterday,
and there was hundreds of people in and out of that, where it hasn't been that way for the last, well, since COVID-19 issues, that we are going to deep clean our town hall. It needs to be done. I mean, go through everything, because there were so many people in there and you don't know. I mean, you didn't need a test to go vote. So that the point is, so we're going to be doing that. So we'll probably have to close town hall, either that or we'll do it on a Saturday or a Sunday, Saturday and Sunday, so we can get it all done and it'll dry.
I would imagine they went through an awful lot of hand sanitizer for people coming in to vote as well.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, people, and you go in and voted, and let me tell you something. You see a lot of towns around in Massachusetts that are having issues, or around the country as far as states having issues. Our election process was perfect in the town of Whitman. The early voting, everything was counted. We had the final results, when they closed up shop at the end. I mean, I think they were probably there till 1 o'clock in the morning, but we got the final results. There was no issues whatsoever, and they did a great job. Our town clerk staff, great job. But then, I guess in the future, what we're looking to do for the town, COVID related, is the fact that we wanted to set up something to deal with once there's a cure for it. Maybe we want to set up something where we can inoculate the entire town, like they're doing COVID testing now, but maybe give everybody shots. Like, I know the town at the senior center did flu shots for a while, but we're talking about all ages. And the chief wanted to purchase some things, like a tent, couple of tents that we can run, have the fire trucks, the ambulances under, and administer an inoculation against it, and just have a line of people, maybe close down the street in town, get it done over the weekend or a couple of days. But we'd have to look into that, because there's other issues that we need to take care of. That's a proactive issue, which I think is a great idea, but I think there's going to be some issues, because this is not going to go away like in a month or two. I think it's going to be longer than that, and we may run into issues. And I'm hoping that the state or the federal government, once it's completed, may give us more COVID-19 monies to be able to do something like that. It would be great for the town. It would be great for the state. We're looking at some IT things, some computer programs where a person needs to get a license for a dog, get a liquor license, something to operate their business, any type of a license. Auto dealerships, there's hundreds of licenses that have to be issued on a yearly basis. Right? Most of the people, they come into the selectman's office, they file the documentation, our clerk looks at them, they get all the proper information. She said, okay, and then she prints out them and we sign them. Once we sign them, they get them by January 1st, the new calendar year. Well, that can't be done. It's a very slow process because of the fact that they can't come in. So Josh, our IT person, is looking into programs that they can fill that information out at home, get all that documentation, mail that, put it on, get it to the town, mail it to the town, and that it'll be signed, and they will get it as soon as possible. Right? But the fact that we can't have people coming into town hall because we're not opening it at this time. I think what the governor is telling us to close down. I was expecting to open the town hall at least by now, but apparently not. It's a shame, but that's the way it is.
Yeah,
So.
it does seem to be almost a repeat of the Spanish flu epidemic that hit back in the early 1900s.
Right. But you got to deal with it. You have to deal with it, and we still have to run the town. People still have to pay their taxes and their water bills and their fees, and get licenses to operate their businesses and car dealerships and restaurants, and we have to maintain business. And since town hall isn't open, we need this new process to be able to get this information to the people that need it. So that's basically what we're doing.
Yeah. And Mr. O'Brien did also mention that there are probably 2 additional checks that will be coming down the line somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you have any indication as to when those might be arriving?
No, I do not. That's our town accountant and our town treasurer. They put that together. They get the information to the Plymouth County treasurer, and then once they approve those purchases, then we will get a check. And that's Mary Beth Carter, our treasurer collector, and Ken, our accountant. They're working together and they're getting it done. We just asked Ken if he could get that information to Plymouth County on a daily basis instead of a weekly basis, maybe. The checks may come faster, because we're using monies that we have that are coming in, and then we're reimbursing ourselves back where we're taking the money from. So that's where it is.
When the treasurer, the county treasurer, was introducing the people who were there for the check presentation ceremony, he mentioned that you were a member of the Plymouth County Advisory Committee.
Yes.
I didn't know there was such a thing until he mentioned that. What is it that committee does?
What we do is we have an executive board, which I am not on, but we have an executive board who looks at the budget, makes recommendations, and the advisory board, that's a member from every town in Plymouth County, right? And I'm one, and Brian Bezansen's the alternate. We go there and we look at the budget, we question the budget, and we either vote it up or down, depending on what it is. And it's funny, every town has a certain amount of votes. The 2 towns that have the most would be town of Plymouth and the city of Brockton. They have the most. It's almost like the way Plymouth and Brockton goes is the way Plymouth County goes. As far as I am, if I'm up or down, if I approve a budget or not, my vote is only worth like 3%. Where you might have Brockton maybe worth, my cat, maybe worth 35%. And Plymouth may be worth 25%. So, I mean, they take up a lot of it. But I can remember one time when something was going to get voted and it was almost a tie, and I had the last vote because it goes by Whitman as a W. So I basically have the last vote. And I have three votes, and it was ahead of things by 2 votes, and my vote decided. And it was an issue that I didn't agree with, so I voted it down, and it killed it. So I guess, we do have some power, but that was years ago when we did that. But anyways, as I say, I've been on it 15, 16 years. I'm one of the senior members there. And as I say, I'm very proactive as far as the Plymouth County Registry of Deeds. That's where the monies come into Plymouth County. That's where they get their budget money from. And I always make sure I talk to Mr. Buckley to make sure that he has the staff and the equipment to get that business taken care of, because without that, we don't have a county. We need those monies in. And of course, if the towns don't have that working properly for them, the towns don't get money from Plymouth County. We get a lot of things done by Plymouth County. So that's basically what we do. And we have our meetings. We used to have our meetings. We'll have Zoom meetings now down in Plymouth. We would meet in Plymouth, and we would sit there, and there'd be maybe a member from every town. And let me tell you, some of the towns, we get into some serious conversations over the budget. And if Plymouth County wants to do something a little bit different and we don't agree, it doesn't get done. So.
Okay, thank you, Dan. That's been a lot of good information you've given me. I want to thank you so much for coming and letting me ask you these questions. And we'll look forward to seeing some more checks come through from the county on the CARES Act.
Yeah, and just want to make sure that the people of our town realize that police, fire, DPW, the selectman's office, the town hall office, senior center, the library, they are ready to open as soon as we feel that it's safe for the town, not only the townspeople, but the town employees too. Yeah. And I can't wait. I just wish we could do it tomorrow, but apparently we can't, for the better of the town, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Paul. Have a good day. Stay safe.